Ian Stewart, GMAT math expert, tutor and writer, and this video is part of a series of videos I'm doing featuring high-level questions that I've designed. This video is really not meant for everyone. It's meant for test takers who have already studied the topic and who are scoring at a Q40 level or above. So if that's not you, then just bookmark this page and come back when it is. My questions, they're not modeled after published official questions. Instead, they're much more like what you'll see on test day, questions testing the same familiar GMAT concepts, but in unusual or inventive ways. And the questions are quite challenging, so don't be concerned if you find some of them difficult. To get the most out of this video, you should try each question. I'll put each on the screen for 5 seconds, so press pause. But if you get stuck, don't spend more than about 90 seconds on any one problem. So in this question, we really just want to know if the Liberals and Conservatives together won all 101 seats in the election. And if L is the number of seats the Liberals won, C the number of seats the Conservatives won. Statement 1 just tells us L is equal to C plus 8. But notice what that means. If C is odd, then L would need to be odd. And if C is even, L would need to be even. Either way, C plus L needs to be an even number. There's no way C plus L could ever be equal to 101. So some other party must have won at least one seat in the election, and statement 1 is sufficient. Looking at statement 2 alone, we know the Liberals won between 57% and 58% of the seats. So L over 101, the fraction of seats they won must be between 57 over 100 and 58 over 100. And you might notice that 57 over 101 must be less than 57 over 100 because it has a larger denominator. And 58 over 100 must be less than 59 over 101. And that's because if you have a fraction between 0 and 1 where everything's positive, if you add 1 to the numerator and denominator of that fraction, you're always making its value bigger. If it's not clear why that's true, you could see my word problems book. So if you look at this inequality, the only possible integer value of L is 58. So statement 2 guarantees the Liberals won exactly 58 seats in the election. But we still don't know how many seats the Conservatives won. They won more than 40%, so they won at least 41 seats, but they could have won 41, 42, or 43. And if they won 43, then the Liberals and Conservatives together won all of the seats, otherwise they didn't. So statement 2 is not sufficient, and the answer is A. So in this question, without knowing in what order the contestants will select their prizes, we want to know if Corey is guaranteed to win the television, the prize she wants most. And if we look at statement 1, we learn that each contestant would pick a different prize if they had the first choice. And so, of course, if Corey picks first, she'll certainly pick the television. If Corey picks second, though, the person who does pick first wants a different prize than Corey wants. So the person picking first doesn't want the television. The television will still be available when Corey picks. And if Corey picks third, well, the person picking first doesn't want the television, so that person will pick something else. The person picking second wants something different from what the first person wants, and also wants something different from what Corey wants. So the person picking second also doesn't want the television, and their first choice will be available for sure. So that means no matter what, Corey's will be able to pick the television even if Corey picks last. And statement 1 is therefore sufficient. Statement 2, on the other hand, is not sufficient because the first person who picks might also want the television, and the television might no longer be available when Corey does pick. So the answer is A. So in this question, we have a fast runner and a slow runner, and S is the speed of the fast runner, V is the speed of the slow runner. And the slow runner will take 500 over V seconds to finish the race because the distance is 500 meters. The fast runner will take 500 over s seconds to finish the race, plus the duration of the head start. So if we call that time t, the fast runner is just sitting around at the starting line for t seconds before he starts running. And we know those two times are equal. What we're interested in finding is t, the length of the head start. And so if we just write down the equation, we get 500 over v is 500 over s plus t. And if we solve for t, factor out the 500, we learn that t is just 500 times 1 over v minus 1 over s. And so now if you just look at the statements, well, statement 2 tells us 1 over v minus 1 over s. So statement 2 is certainly sufficient alone. Statement 1 doesn't tell us 1 over v minus 1 over s. And it's the value of 1 over v minus 1 over s that determines the answer to the question. So if you just notice, choosing any numbers at all for statement 1, that the value of 1 over v minus 1 over s can change. If you choose 1 and 6, or 5 and 10, for example, you'll get two different values for 1 over v minus 1 over s. You can see that statement 1 is not sufficient. So the answer is B. If you enjoyed these questions, I've written 4 long problem sets full of high-level questions like these, along with a set of books covering all of GMAT math that teach my conceptual approach to the test, which is perfect for high-level test takers. And if you're interested in any of that material, you can just visit my website. The link is in the description below.